Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, my name is Aulia Zahra. I am from class 4B with my last student number 069. Can you imagine being a student who has to learn math, science, history, and every school subject in a language you still do not fully understand? That is the challenge faced by many English language learners or EL students in classrooms today. In this video, I will introduce you to a book titled Classroom Instructions That Work with English Language Learners, written by Jane Z. Hale and Kathleen M. Flynn. This book explains how teachers can help EL students succeed academically while also improving their English skill through research-based teaching strategies. I will discuss the main content of the book, the strengths, the limitations, and why this book is still very relevant for educators today. And one thing that makes this book is interesting is that it combines educational research with real classroom examples. And I would highly recommend these books for teachers who work with English language learners or ELL, for education students, and for future or new teachers, and for anyone interested in inclusive education. The main content of the book contains two main parts. The first is one of the most important chapters explains the stage of second language acquisitions. According to the book, students learning English usually pass through 5 stages. The first is pre-productions, the second is early productions, the third is speech emergence, next is intermediate fluency, and the last is advanced fluency. Each stage has different characteristics and requires different teaching method. And the next main topic is 9 instructional strategies. These strategies include: first is setting objectives and providing feedback, non-linguistic representation, cues, questions, and advanced organizer, cooperative learning, summarizing and note-taking. The 6 is homework and practice. The 7 is reinforcing effort and providing recognition. And the 8, generating and testing hypotheses. The 9 is identifying similarities and differences. The book explains how each strategy can be modified specifically for ELL students. And the next is the strengths of the books. In my opinion, this book has several strengths. The first is the book is very practical. It doesn't only discuss educational theories, but also explains how these strategies can actually be applied in real classroom. The authors provide classroom situations, examples of teacher instruction, and ways to modify activities for students at different levels of English proficiency. And the second strength is the explanations are easy to understand. Some educational books use very technical language that can be difficult for readers, especially for people who are still learning about education or linguistics. However, this book explains the concept in a clear and organized way Even readers who are not expert in ESL teaching can still understand the discussion without feeling confused. The third strength is the book strongly supported by research. The instructional strategies discussed in the book are based on studies about effective teaching and students' achievement. This makes the book more trustworthy because the strategies are not based only opinion but or personal experience but also an educational research. The author explains why certain methods are effective for ALS students and how these methods support both language learning and academic achievement. Another strength is that the authors show respect for diversity of ELL students. The book reminds teachers that understanding students' backgrounds can help create a more inclusive and supporting classroom environment. Overall, I think the best strength of this book is that it combines research, practically, and empathy. It helps teachers become more effective while also encouraging them to be a better understand and support their students. However, this book also has some limitations. First, the book was published in 2006, which is some examples and educational context may feel slightly outdated today. For example, the book doesn't discuss digital learning tools, online classroom, or artificial intelligence or AI, or modern educational technology that are commonly used in school now. Since technology has become an important part of education, especially after online learning become more common, some readers may feel that the book needs updated examples and applications. Second, the book mainly focuses on elementary school education. Most of the classroom examples involve younger learners, so teachers in secondary schools or universities may need to adapt the strategies to fit older students. Although the general concepts are still useful, some activities and approaches may seem too simple or for higher educational levels. Third, although the strategies are helpful, implementing all of them consistently may be difficult for teachers who have large classroom or limited resources. Some teachers work in a large classroom with many students, limited times, or limited resources. In those situations, it may be challenging to provide individualist support, cooperative activities, visual, and different instruction at the same time. Despite these limitations, the core ideas for educators today still valuable and relevant for educators today. Personally, I think this book is very useful for future teachers, especially in English language education students. This book helped me understand that teaching ALL students is not only about teaching grammar or vocabulary, but also about creating a supportive learning environment. I also learned that effective teaching requires flexibility, patience, and understand students' different language abilities. Overall, I believe this book is a helpful guide for teachers who want to create more inclusive classroom. To conclude, classroom instruction that work with English language learners is an informative and practical book. And that's all from me. Thank you for your attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.